Good morning and welcome to the podcast. This is the episode 14 of Lowdown. This is the Beehive. Welcome everybody. We are so happy to have you. We hope you all had a wonderful Valentine's Day. We took the last week off, but we are happy to be back. We hope that you guys are ready for some excellent content that we have coming up. Of course, we are here with Judge Justin and with Sam. Always good to have you guys.
Let's go. How's it going?
Good morning.
I'm gonna do my best to talk, even though my face is currently against me today. I know some people think that that's pretty standard for me, but most of the time my face is with me. So
I think I'm the only healthy one on the podcast this morning.
He's been taking his vitamin C.
yeah,
So, thank
yeah,
you. We
we
appreciate
need to
it.
take some
Sam
health.
will be running it from here on out.
Yeah, Sam's
Hello.
gonna do health and wellness advice because he's also the only one that competed in the 1K as well. So somehow
That's
he's
true.
he's healthy and we're not.
That's true. And that's actually one of the great topics we have to talk about today is our local 1K that we had at Game Grid Lehi. It was a very well attended event, and we have some excellent insight thanks to Sam pretending there uh, to hear about what happened there. And we want to talk about some awesome deck lists. Additionally, we have Melbourne, DLC Melbourne to talk about,
Yep,
as well as many other things. So let's get going.
amazing. Yeah, I think one thing I wanted to shout out for Game Grid Lehi, new champion of largest local Utah event that we've had. The 1K over at Harside was the reigning champ, and then Game Grid Lehi came in and unseated them. I think Game Grid or Harside had 38 players. Game Grid Lehi had 43 players. So really cool to see that big of a tournament locally, in my opinion. So
Yes, we want to see some more local turnout. So
definitely.
congratulations, Game Grid Lehigh, and congratulations to Christian for taking it down.
Yeah, Christian Braun,
Yeah,
way to go, dude.
absolutely.
He's one of those that I've traded with quite a few times with like enchanteds and all
He's
that
always got a
stuff,
stack
right?
of enchanteds.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah. He's
he
he's an
always
enchanted
has.
trader. He's a great
Hmm.
collector, great dude in general, and awesome player. I mean, I think he had a really good turnout at the Game Grid Open as well, and then he also won the um what was it? The Super Sealed, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, you can never sleep
Awesome.
on Christian. Every time I'm at an event and he's there, he always gives me a run for my money. So never count him out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a cool
And he
weekend
won,
to
he won
kick
with
off
Blue
winter
Steel.
spell, right? We got to see DLC Melbourne results, and we got our own local 1K, the biggest turnout we've ever had. That wasn't just a CCQ.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
locals only. This is the biggest one. Pretty fun. There was a large mix of things that I didn't expect. I
Yeah.
kind of expected Blurple to be there because it's just the easiest deck to build, right? If you already had it,
Yep.
you don't have to add too many cards. You add like a couple rares or something. But we had a bunch of players piloting that new blue yellow deck. That one kind of caught me off guard. I didn't expect there to be 10 people playing that, or nine, something like that.
Yeah, Blurple and Amber Sapphire represented together 50% of the meta, which
Yeah, it's
is
cool.
or
Yeah,
it's just crazy. So
Yeah, I was pretty happy with
troll heavy for sure.
people busting those out. So I went to this event originally planning on playing Steel Song.
yep.
I know that my podcast host can attest, but we've been talking
I was
about that
really
for
hoping.
a couple weeks. But I sat down in that room, had it all sleeved up, ready to go, and took a look around. Saw everybody sleeving up Blurple or writing down Blurple deck lists or just playing Blurple matchups. Like, there's no way I could do that.
No.
It's a tough matchup. So I last minute switched to Blurple because I had, all the Blurple cards on me anyway.
Seems like it paid off for you though, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah, I did pretty well. I
yeah.
started the day. I think I was 2-0, and then I had to play against Taylor, who got second.
Yep.
We tied in randomly in round three because we went to time.
Wow.
So
Mm.
just kind of a funky event. And then I got to figure out how to get over this losing my winning ins. I
Yeah.
just lose that bubble round every
Oh no.
time. And it's just like, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. But shout out to Anthony Eckroth. Yesterday, he talked me off the ledge. So
Yeah.
what a good friend.
Hey man, it's sometimes that's
1920.
that's what happens, right? It comes with
Yeah.
the territory. You get those matchups and you're not happy about. What was your matchup for your winning in?
I was playing against blue yellow.
Blue yellow. Yeah, that's a
Yep.
tough one.
And I won game one, and then games two and three, I got him down to like one card, and every single time he drew out of it, I was like, no, man,
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah. That blue yellow
Dang.
does draw some cards. There's no question.
Yeah, he was on a heater. He was like it was his last card. He had two cards in hand, so he Cinderellas, right?
Yeah.
And then inks the card, draws a card, and it's Surfer Stitch. I was like, okay, that's just.
That's
And then
unfortunate.
and then he played back to back Surfer Stitches. So I was like, that sucks so
That's
bad for me.
crazy.
Yeah.
Surfer Stitch
Hmm.
is so nuts to just draw that many
Yeah,
cards.
it's like the perfect card you want to see because he
Yeah.
fulfilled the condition.
Hmm.
Because I couldn't get rid of. I only had Into the Unknown. I didn't have Let It Go in my hand, so I couldn't get rid of his second character.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate. But shout out to can't remember his name. Paul. I think it was Paul.
Was it
Shout
Paul?
out to
Nice.
Paul.
Nice.
Congrats on top eight.
That's awesome.
Nice work, Paul.
Way to
Yeah,
go.
No.
Well, we should talk about the winners deck list.
we
I've got it
should.
pulled
Yeah.
up here. So we should probably take a look at their deck list. And way to go again, Christian Braun, coming in with blue steel. I think Kevin was mentioning a second ago that it's kind of surprising to see a blue steel list jump up in the top, right?
Yeah, and in the field full of control,
Yeah.
like a blurple and blue yellow, I did not expect an ally built blue steel to be the one to take down the event.
The
So
control pretender comes in,
congratulations.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
beat two blue yellows on the day, and we were all really surprised. We didn't know how it was possible, but
That's
somehow he made
crazy.
it. He made it work.
Yeah. I mean, the questing power is pretty impressive, but that's the thing that's really weird is that usually Blue Steel just struggles against those higher end control decks.
Hmm.
And
mhm.
yeah, so I guess he was just able to navigate it differently.
So Christian, if you're listening, make sure to comment and give us some
Yeah.
tips on how
Tell
this was
us your
able to navigate the blue
secrets.
yellows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to know.
I think looking at this list, right, like it's very similar to previous sets, but you have your Pete, you have Let It Go, which obviously, I mean, unconditional removal there is a huge addition for this deck. And
Hmm.
then the Angel obviously comes in and just that plink damage is terrifying to deal with sometimes. There's been several games where while I'm playing with Angel, I just like they play a character, I kill it. They play a character, I kill it. They play a character, like it just you can kind of keep the game going until you draw your answers.
Hmm.
And maybe with a deck like Blue Steel where your top end is just so good, right? You drop your Vincenzos, you drop your
Hmm.
Hades, you drop your Tinkerbells. Anything you put on the board is becoming a very intrusive threat. Angel might just be able to kind of keep the game around long enough for you to win it there, right?
Yeah, it just
And
has
it
great
seems like
synergy with Goliath too, right?
yeah, I mean, every single step of the way it has some sort of tempo or value gaining,
Mhm.
right? So on turn one, you got Mulan that allows you to filter. In turn two, you got the Tipo. On turn three, when you have four ink, you got the Angel and then the Cinderella. Both, you have it's either value or tempo with every single step,
Yeah.
and it seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's important to note too that the two characters that they add in from Winter Spell are both allies and both have very good effects, right? You have Pete for filtering
Hmm.
some more, and then uh, Angel is just a menace to hurt the early game.
Well, the more I look at this list, right, it's a steel song list, but it's
Hmm.
not Amber, right?
Yeah,
Like this is
exactly.
just a bunch of songs that you're coming in with, and every time I was trying to make Amber steel songs work, it was the top end that was just lacking. And I think Vincenzo and Hades, they're so good cards. They're the amazing cards on the top end. Vincenzo by himself being an inkable 7 cost that deals 3 damage is just crazy. And then Hades coming in and being able to just put something into your opponent's inkwell like a let it or with let it go or like with let it go. It's such a great top end deck. I mean, it just the surprising factor is that is it fast enough to prevent that Raging Storm board wipe? And I guess the on the other side of it, the blue green board wipe because I think blue green kind of ate this thing's lunch last set, right?
Hmm.
And maybe let it go helps to combat, get rid of some of those threats that blue green can put on the board early. Um, I don't know. I don't know what I think. It seems like the only thing that's added here that I think could change this list would be Let It Go.
Sure.
So very exciting list though. I
And
mean,
Yeah. If you
for
were
for all
looking
the control
for
players, oh sorry, for the control players out there, how impactful is Goliath? I know that you're with Blurple specifically, you want to amass cards and have a bunch of cards in hand. So is Goliath pretty detrimental to your plan?
not typically.
I think most of the time you have an answer for him, right?
Yeah, Goliath, if it you hardly ever like discards you cards, but
Yeah.
very often
Okay.
draws you cards.
Yep.
Okay, that's what you don't want to do. Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
think it's just comes back to the fact that this deck doesn't have any other card draw besides Doc. And so, I mean, I guess Jasmine can fill that
yeah,
category, but she's not
yeah.
very frequent, right? So,
hmm Jasmine and Cindy technically can replace themselves.
You got a lot of filtering, and that's different than card draw. So
yeah.
Jasmine's card
hmm
draw, Pete's card draw, but you also have Mulan,
hmm
you have Cinderella to filter,
hmm
Sail like a little bit.
Yeah, you got Pete.
Yes.
I think Pete's such a great new card from the set, right? Like, we talked about it last podcast episode where we were like, how did we miss talking about Pete as one of the better cards of the set? I think it's just crazy that he's such an auto in on every blue deck because, like, for me, I think he just replaces visions in most cases, right? Like, you pull out visions, you put in Pete. It's a really easy, like, I have a body now that could actually draw me a card as well. Um,
hmm
I
That's a
think
big body.
the blue yellow kind of works with both because blue yellow, you're always just searching for an answer. So like
True.
they work in tandem. So Visions and Pete is a great combination. But yeah, it's just a great body. Can sing Let It Go.
Yep.
Can sing all the songs in this deck.
Yep.
hmm
And it's an ally, so you can find it off Jasmine.
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't realize he was an ally too. That's amazing synergy.
Yep.
It's fun.
Turns out you become an ally when you die, Pete. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks, Pete.
And the other thing that's really interesting too, and I think, I was talking about this before the podcast, was this deck, I think, has the most organic inclusion of item hate that any deck has in the history of decks right now. Because Pluto is probably the most organic item hate that you could include in any of the available decks, right? Like Wasabi's fine in Blurple, but he also feels kind of clunky when you're in any other matchup. Benja's fine with Amethyst Steel, or maybe even in this list, but at the same time, he's just not what you want to see in most other matchups. But Pluto's like, you could play him in a matchup against Dogs, or you could play him in a matchup against Sapphire Amber. Like, it
The
doesn't.
gaining two lore comes up quite often, right?
Yeah, gaining two lore off of your steel characters is, I mean, turning everything into a Calhoun is
Yeah.
is never bad, right? And so,
crazy.
and I mean, he comes in at that really good sweet spot of 5-drop curve. I think it's funny because with all these cards that are included in here, you don't even need the Moana, which I think has been another one of the most influential cards that a lot of people have included in blue lists. And so it's really cool to see that the versatility of this blue steel list here that we're looking at.
So the other question that I have is with the removal in this deck, why would you opt to go for four Thunderbolts and two Let It Goes and not reverse those numbers? Let It Go is inkable and it's unconditional removal. I understand it inks, gives your ramps your opponent,
Yeah.
but it on paper it just seems better than Thunderbolts.
I think on average you deal more damage with Thunderbolt.
Hmm.
In Steel Song, especially, you want the strength because everything's like your Angel is a singer three, Troubadour is a singer four, can sing both, but very typically have more characters on board with the Amber Steel because you have like you start off with an Angel, and then you play Troubadour, or you play Willow and then play another one drop, right? So you're
Mhm.
amassing characters more frequently that can sing the strength. But the only thing in this deck that can sing those cards are the Angel, Cinderella, and Jasmine. Those are the earliest options, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So strength works great when you're like one, two, three characters sing a song, right? Uh, the same thing with Purple Steel. They prefer strength because they play a 3-drop, but this deck does not. So you can play your Angel, you can play Cinderella, you can play your Jasmine, you can even shift Jasmine, and then shifting Jasmine, playing Thunderbolt is going to give you a lot more value than um, Rage of Raging Fire.
I think also though, like when you're talking about the Let It Go inclusion, right? Obviously, Let It Go is
Mhm.
inkable. Thunderbolt is not. I think Let It Go being a 5 cost just is enough for it to be a little more clunky. And with both Pete and Pluto, I feel like I want to quest with them more than I want to sing a song with them versus like Angel and Cinderella singing a song with them is
Their best
so
function.
Perfectly
so
fine.
easy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so easy to be like, oh, Cindy,
Hmm.
like Cindy's only job after she gets on board is sing a song, right? Like that's all she's got.
Hmm.
She's a 2/3 that does nothing, and then Angel's great because if your hand's empty, it's got resist. But even then, I noticed playing it when you have 4 ink feels really bad because you usually have like 2 or 3 cards left after playing it 4 ink, and so you don't really have that resist option to be able to put her sideways and keep her alive. And so, being able to use her to sing a song and then remove a character, and then also
Okay.
discard a card, plink 2 damage, like you've got just a more, I think it's a sweeter spot there. I think Let It Go is really something you want to see late game. You don't want to see it like super early. If you're hard casting a Let It Go on 5 ink, you're probably in a bad
It's a
spot,
problem.
right?
Hmm.
So, and even then, when you get your Pete down or you get your Pluto down, you kind of want to quest with Pete so you can draw a card. And then Pluto, you almost want to not turn sideways ever because you want to have him out there just in case the items come down or, he becomes such a nasty threat to get rid of with his 5 willpower. And
And he shuts down your opponent's board with the
yeah, like you
you don't
can't
want to
quest at
have
all when
anything
there's a Pluto out.
challenge into you.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I think that's where Let It Go just is just that one extra cost. It makes it a little bit harder to work with, but
That makes sense. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah, and I think obviously to what Sam was saying, you do less strengths because how many times, like to your point, Sam, shifting Jasmine on Jasmine,
Mhm.
you're now kind of like shutting down your strength. We saw that with the Rhino line too, a
Yeah.
lot, where people are
It's
like,
Right.
-1. Yeah.
yeah, it just doesn't quite do the same. And I
Minus
think
one damage.
Thunderbolts being able to say, I'm going to deal 4 damage and I don't have to have any characters on the board, that becomes a
Right.
big inclusion there.
Yeah, I just think on average, Thunderbolt's dealing more than strength. So it
Yeah.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Also, just we miss Zeus every day in Steel.
That's the
Very
only reason
much
why
so.
locations have a chance coming up, all right? Like we gotta leave Zeus on
Mhm.
the chopping block for now, because
The
otherwise
back
locations
burner.
have zero chance, right? So it's funny because you start to see a lot of these cards that they keep printing that are poor replacements for the previous cards that we used to love.
Yeah.
And you're like, like the grab your bow, you're like,
Grab your bow.
you're like,
Hmm.
where's my grab your swords? Because that was like way better, but um, it's
Dude,
just you find these poor replacements. You're like, well, that means that card's never coming back then. So
yeah, shift Tinkerbell into grab your swords was devastating.
For
cracked,
sure.
So good.
cracked. Amazing. Well, let's talk about a couple of the other like lists that were up towards the top. We had Top Forte ended up in it looks like second place. He ended up playing for the championship and lost out to Christian with his Blurple list. And with that one. He included some item hate, which good on him for that, because I think without it, he probably would have had a rougher day. But yeah, I think this list is going to be something that is likely to be our uh, our kind of standard Blurple list for the foreseeable future.
You'll see
I'm
it.
assuming. So let me go ahead and add this one. Share. All right, so we got this pulled up. So yeah, I mean, I think this turns into our our standard Blurple list for a bit. I think Sven becomes such an awesome inclusion in this list. It's caught me off guard more than once where you're expecting
That's
to
incredible.
that 5 ink number is normally what you're expecting to see with that rush character, and now it comes down at 4 instead of a genie, and you kind of just hate your life because Sven comes in and destroys everything in its path. Um, Yeah, I think that I was talking with I think Andre about it, but like how many more good things could you put on a single card? Like is this the
Right,
maximum good things we can put on
right.
one
Yeah,
card?
I think this is it, the upper limit for sure.
Rush,
I
Challenger, and Evasive. That's crazy.
It's wild. It's a wild card.
Like why not Alert? Alert would have been, I think, a little bit more balanced. This feels a little crazy to me,
Yeah,
honestly.
leaving the evasive so you can get Dumbo value and everything. It's like it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's kind of cracked.
The only
A-
unfortunate thing is
Amethyst does fine.
it cannot be anything more than a two spot in this deck.
Yeah. Well, I think the three willpower balances it a little bit. Um, and also the fact that this deck has just a million other cards that it wants to include in that in
Yeah.
that 4-drop slot,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Right. I saw that card revealed and I was like, oh, look, they brought Fox back. Look at that.
Almost.
We're,
It's
Imagine
way
you could do it
better
one
though.
one turn earlier though. I don't know. Fox was
right. We're
crazy.
complaining about how they give us like bad replacements of good cards in the past. And I was
There
like,
you go.
all they did was power creep Fox. Like
Yeah.
this is what it is.
Yep. I mean, but like with the inclusion of Sven, right? You're missing the elephant, right? The Madamim elephant's not in here, which is it's been kind of a mainstay for the last cup or for last set. And then the question I have is how long does Into the Unknown stick around while we have something like Let It Go? How long do we
Forever.
keep? Okay, you think so?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Card's too good.
Too good. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working los dos, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess have both of them. But and then I mean Junior Woodchuck Guidebook obviously has just been such an amazing card for Blurple in general, right? We miss friends, but I think this was the proper way to bring it back, right? Give us something that's got some versatility, but also some a little bit of weakness, right? In this meta where if people are running item pay and you leave it parked out there, you might just lose it. So
Yeah, you kind of know what matchups you can just leave it out there though.
yeah,
Uh yeah, but it's interesting to notice that the only new card in this deck is Fen.
yeah, it
It's the
definitely is.
only new card because Let It
Only
Go
new
is a
card.
reprint.
Yep.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I guess I count Let It Go as a new card because obviously we didn't see it last set,
Yeah,
but
from the new set, but like
yeah.
it has existed.
It's
Everybody
old,
had that.
reliable.
I think that's why you'll see this deck a lot is because people already had these cards. Like you don't
Yeah.
have to buy a new legendary. You just get to play all of the cards you had, and then I just need to go find two Sven.
Yep.
Well, that's easy.
Hmm. Easy enough.
Do you ever try to put Pete in here somewhere, or is just Hades just too important? Because I feel like when you play Hades,
So Hades is insane now that Let It Go's in the deck because it sings Let It Go. So
ah,
they're automatically like, well, I have to draw you two, and then the two you draw can just very easily be Let It Go, and then you just sing Let It Go with Hades. It's really gross. Like
yeah,
you just before there was an argument in this deck to Hades is like okay, so
yeah.
people were running two or three, but
Mhm.
now it's like Hades is so synergistic with Let It Go that you just can't. But Pete's
Makes
okay.
sense.
Mhm.
Pete's okay. It's like a proactive thing to play, right? Like a lot of the cards in this deck are reactive, right? You got Elsa, you got Hades, you got Demona, you got Hades, like all a bunch of reactive cards. Genie's proactive, um, Iago's proactive, and Pete's like a proactive card to play. There's just kind of it's like a weird spot to fill. Like, are you going to take out your Iagos for it? Or are you going to take out your, I don't know. Like,
I
how
mean,
do
I
you
think
include it into this list?
I think I just swap, you know, Pete with Hades, or like you pop out like a couple of Hades, put in a couple of Pete just to add some
Yeah.
versatility there. Because I think there's been too many times where I've started. Normally, when Hades came down, it was just an auto like you can draw two. I don't even care what you pick on my board. You're drawing two. Like go ahead.
Mhm.
But now it's almost like, well, actually, I kind of don't want you to draw two. And even if you're getting rid of one of my bigger threats, like Hades doesn't scare me as much. But to your point, maybe I should be more scared of Hades because of Let It
Yeah,
Go.
I think that's just it makes Hades better because like
Yeah,
the better effect is always getting rid of a character, right? Drawing two is like what you expect to happen with Hades every time, but if you get rid of a character, it's like infinitely. I guess not infinitely, but it's like it's super good, right?
yeah,
Both, no matter what they choose, Hades is a great card,
right.
and you have enough like draw options in this deck. Like Hades isn't your sole draw, so if they elect to not give you cards, you'll probably be fine with that.
Okay. Yeah,
But yeah, I just don't think I would ever take out Hades for a Pete. Um,
it's fair.
and then you could put Pete in for some things, but I think it's hard. I think it's tough.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's my only question on it. But yeah.
I mean, with this deck, the only thing you really don't want to run into is what dogs and Blello or IKEA or whatever we're calling Blue Amber,
Uh,
right?
yeah, Sapphire Amber is your worst matchup, I think, in this meta for sure. The Purple Steel matchup's a little bit more even because the cards you put in are worse against their deck. Like Sven is okay, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have like the things that used to beat Purple Steel were like Iago and TikTok, right? Especially TikTok.
Mm,
You had these big bodies that they just couldn't deal with, like it can never quest against. So that makes it harder. But Let It Go's like okay card against them. I think it's just a little bit more even now. So
gotcha.
that matchup got a little worse. Your blue yellow matchup's terrible. And then dogs, it depends on how many wasabi you run.
Yeah.
Like you could easily make dogs your best matchup if you put Tigger and wasabi in.
Yeah. Just bouncing stuff and then because Tigger bounces the
Mm,
Chromacon, right?
No.
Oh, is it not
Two
item?
cost.
Oh, it's two cost item. Okay, two cost item, character, or
mhm.
location? Question mark.
I think it's just character, but I can
Oh,
double check. But it's still just really good.
yeah, it's fair. All right. Well then let's jump into the next one. Let's go ahead and pull up a dogs deck. We have
Looks
Paul
like
D's deck. Let's pull this one
Sorry, it
down.
looks like Tigger bounces chosen character, item, or location with two
Oh,
cost or
nice.
less.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say
were
I thought it
right.
was yeah, character item
Why would I
location.
ever question you? You're the
He's the
judge.
judge.
You have to know everything.
You should question me a lot, honestly. There's been several times where my memory has failed me on cards. So no, I always make a very big point to reread cards because there was one or two judge calls I made early on in my judge ception, which was um, trying to be good, and I totally forgot what a card did. So that's just how it goes. But all right, let's pull up Paul's list real quick. He's got a dogs list that I think is uh it looks pretty similar to what we had, but some inclusions that we would expect to see with
he
with
uh
our
he slapped me up with the Mulan, so
yeah,
we
the
can talk
Mulan
about
came
that.
in and hit you with her
Really?
stick
Yep, he
with her
quested for
bow staff.
6, or he
Oh
gained
my
6 lore
goodness.
off of the Mulan.
Alrighty.
He gained 14 lore in one turn, and I
That's
conceded.
craziness. That's craziness.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Well, and it's also
That's
important to note
insane.
that, we'll get into DLC Melbourne, but the DLC Melbourne winner did not include Milan in their list,
hmm
which was really interesting. So, yeah, this is the list that Paul had, and he ended up, what was it, top four? Question mark?
I'm
Well,
glad to see that
fourth.
he had Under the Sea in his deck because I didn't know if he did, and I played around it every time, like
Yeah,
expecting it.
you're like, thank
It
goodness I
didn't
was
matter,
actually
but
playing it right.
yeah, at
Yeah.
least I was playing correctly.
Yeah, you gotta remove those characters. Keep the eight willpower or keep the eight
I was
singing
really
power off the board.
trying,
Yeah,
but if you
Mhm.
can't do that, you don't play anything that has 2 strength. That's for sure.
yeah, that too. Just gotta sit back and watch it. I think I mean, this list is kind of what we expect, right? Gma Willow comes in here, does her thing. Mulan comes in
Nice.
here, does her thing. Nani is just an auto add in this deck because you just draw a card. So, I think this is an amazing list here. I think the three Chromacon, you have to have three. You can't have two. Two's just not enough. You don't
Still
see it
surprised they
enough.
play 3. I think why not play 4? Isn't that your
Yeah,
most important
That's,
card? I don't know.
it's
as he said,
tough.
why not four?
I'm
It's
every time I see these lists running 3, I get really surprised.
when I played dogs and I had four, I saw it so much and it just was constant. Like I would mull it in the opener, I would do all kinds of stuff, and I'd still end up with like two in my hand. It was just constant that it would happen that way. And I think with three, you can keep one and be a little bit more confident that you're not going to see it again later. Because it really does suck to have a Chromacon stuck in your hand with an Under the Sea stuck in your hand as much as like this deck does have a lot of inkables and a lot of options that way.
Mhm.
I mean, I even saw it watching the DLC finals last night where the Dogs player was in a bad spot where if he didn't draw ink, he was basically screwed. So
Mhm.
it can get you if you're not careful with it, in my opinion. But
Hmm. I just feel like I see like they always hit the tramp. So if you have two Chromacon, you just discard them off the tramp.
yeah, I
Also,
mean, you would
I
hope
think
so.
there's 19 unequables in this deck, so they're gonna throw one more in there. It's a
If
lot.
you have 19, what's 20?
Yeah, there's 19 in this deck. That's
Make all 60. It's
craziness.
fine.
That's craziness. Yeah, and even with just two of the Lady Elegant Spaniels as well. But yeah, I think this deck's kind of what we expected to see here. I think four Mowgli versus two Ursula is interesting.
Mhm.
I think honestly, in most cases, Ursula is a better card to have on the board. I'd prefer her in most cases with the 1/3.
She's better on
But
the board, but Mowgli's better like for hands because you get hit items and locations, right?
true, true.
Mhm.
So you start hitting like things like
Play,
the
Ur
cauldron or
Yeah.
I don't know.
play Ursula first, follow up with Mowgli, go from there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'd usually do the other direction. I usually go Mowgli first and then
Oh,
hit
really?
Ursula after the fact if I need to. Just because I think what Sam was saying, right? Mowgli hits more things. So if I'm
Mm.
worried about at least seeing their hand, and then if I see a song, then I'm like, all right, here comes Ursula. But
I
that
would
would
say
be kind of my
mine's
strat.
the other way, where I'd be like, if I play Mowgli and they discard their song, then my Ursula's useless.
True.
So,
I
right?
guess that's fair. I guess that's fair. But yeah, I mean it's a good list. I think it does what Dogs does, right?
Yep.
This
This
is
is
where we're at.
dogs.
This is Dogs with Nani and Mulan in it, which I think we talked about Mulan being an auto add in Dogs, and then Grandmother Willow, I think in Dogs just it is a very dangerous card. I tried to make Grandmother Willow work in Amber Steel. It didn't feel good it on two. But in this list, you play Grandmother Willow on two, and then you play a Daisy Duck after the fact. Like that's insane. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Hmm.
So
It's nasty.
that is wild. And you start seeing double daisies on the board, or you just even there's so many one drops in this deck that Grandmother Willow is just such a great card to have
Well,
there.
so going so the curve I watched on stream that was like I you just can't it made the argument like you just can't not play Grandmother Willow, right? Is you go one drop, Grandma Willow, play one drop, and then on three you can tramp.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
gross.
crazy, just crazy. Yeah, it's a good list. I think this is fun. I mean, congratulations to you, Paul, for getting fourth. I know it didn't quite get across the finish line, but
Yeah, he had to
I'm
play
sure
against
he
the blue
ran.
steel
I
guy.
was gonna say, I'm sure you ran into the blue steel list, and
Yeah.
that's never a fun matchup. I did that in set champs, and you kind of, as a Dogs player, you kind of feel like you have a chance against almost every deck except for Blue Steel. So, because they just get so
Ouch.
so high so fast, and like I said, I think Blue Steel has the most organic inclusion of item hate out of all the decks,
Hmm.
right? And you have that Pluto there, he's coming down pretty quick, and so even if you get your Chromacon out on three, they're removing it a couple of turns later, so you're not getting as much value out of your Chromacon for sure. All right, cool.
Congratulations to
Well,
Dogs. Good job,
yeah,
Paul.
yeah. Congratulations to Paul. Congratulations to Christian again. Way to go. Way to take down the tournament. Congrats. That's awesome. Um, Hopefully we'll see a ton more 1Ks. I know I've talked with Andre over at Hearthside. He wants to do a bunch more. I've talked with Josh. He wants to do one. So we're gonna try to get some more 1Ks going and obviously keep on pumping these numbers up,
Yeah.
right? 40
Yeah.
players is so cool to see that. And I think all it does is it makes all of us locally better as
Hmm.
we travel to these DLCs and these larger tournaments because we get to
Hmm.
see kind of that same feeling of the big room, lots of diversity of deck inclusions and things like that, right?
Yeah, I think uh the turnouts in the last two have really shown that there's a desire for the local community to play. So we need to
Hmm.
start getting these events going. Like we need more of them.
Absolutely.
And maybe not all of them have to be like this top end pricing stuff too. Like I think we can start. If it's a 1K, you can just like put pricing into like the top 16 or something.
Yeah.
Drive a little bit more people to want to play. Because I understand like the sentiment where, well, if I go to 1K, I have to top eight or it's like worthless. but we're having people show up. So I don't think that's too much of an issue right now. We just need more of these to fire.
Yeah.
We just need to get them on the schedule because I think people are going to start playing in them more.
I mean, and how that goes is if you play somewhere locally every week and you're there, talk to the store and just explain to them, hey, Game Grid Lehi had 43 players at their 1K. They charged $30 a head. Hearthside had 38 players at their 1K. They charged $30 a head. You guys can charge $30 a head and you can expect about that turnout depending on, what other factors. Obviously, let's work around like DLCs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like
don't pick a
let's
bad weekend. Like know your players, but
yeah,
I don't think that 43 players is our limit. I think we can get
no.
to 50 or
Mhm.
60 pretty
I think so
easily.
We
too.
can go higher.
And I think
We
I
absolutely
was
can.
joking with Andre about like day one, day two situations, right? Like we might even get to the point where, we play and we have a day one into a top eight cut to day two, right? Like
Ooh.
there's some stuff happening because I mean, once you get over the limit, right? You obviously have to increase the number of Swiss rounds, so you
Yeah,
can't,
once you have 9 rounds,
yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't do that in one day. That's gonna be tough regardless. So, but yeah, I think we could definitely do some great stuff with 1Ks locally, and it's really encouraging to see it. And what I was telling Andre, I want to see 1Ks to where we're attracting players from California, players
Mhm.
from Vegas, players from Idaho, right? Like that
Well,
should be what we're kind of shooting for too, right?
if you can get enough 1Ks
Mhm.
to fire, then you can start doing stuff like 2Ks or
Yep.
3Ks or 10Ks, whatever.
And make it viable for the store, right?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
this definitely was.
Well, that's what we need to talk to. Like that's what you need to talk to your stores about. Hey, these are firing and they're making money. Let's
Well,
let's
and
make it
here's the thing
happen.
too that is another self if you're going to talk to your game store is a 1K with an win an iconic is different than a 1K only giving out product.
Yep,
An
Mhm.
iconic is cheaper for a store. It just is.
it
It
is.
doesn't. It's not. They're not paying the full retail value for it, but they're giving it away at full retail value. So automatically they're gaining like some amount of money if they're including the iconic, which has seemed to work because players want to play for these iconics. Like it is working.
Mhm.
So um, in the grand scheme of things too, I think I like playing in a 1K more than a set championship. I know that that's not the more common player is probably going to for a set champs. You get like a promo, you're playing for Lorcana. But uh I don't know. I think the upper echelon of rewards is more enticing to me. Like if I'm playing for, an iconic or, even a couple boxes or 20 packs or something. Um I think that entices me more as a player.
Yeah, your return
And
on investment is higher, right?
yeah, right. And then I think that we could start combining like set champs with 1Ks.
Yeah.
Like we could
I would
just do
like that.
that. Like what if we just had like 60 player set champs that turns into a 1K and then you start playing for like a couple boxes of the news like that. I don't know. So
Totally.
that's where
Right.
my mind goes for these things. Is like how far can we take this where stores are engaged, the players are like showing up, and then we start getting like real tournaments going. Because I think
Heck yeah.
I mean,
these two
to
events
your
have shown
comment,
that people want it.
to your comment, I'm a pretty common player. I over here and I love my set champs, and I really want them to be bigger. I would love
Yeah.
to have the set champs be more than just like, yo, here's your promo,
Yeah,
and it's
there's a
not even
certain
that good of a
appeal
promo.
to like
Like,
showing up as a set champ and there's like 50 people in the room, right? Instead of
well,
you show up to your
100%.
set champs and there's 6 people in the room. Like, I don't know.
And we could just make the set champs pricing. So, sorry, backing up just like 2 steps here. The set champs historically, the pricing on them have been lackluster for the majority of most for of the set champs that are out there.
Mhm.
They chose a couple of pretty good ones. I mean, Rockstar Stitch was good, Ursula was good. Um, there was one other in the Mal Dragon was pretty popular. But apart from that, they have been a little bit less, on quality of the card. Just speaking of the card strictly.
Yeah.
So if we could just use the set champs pricing, if it is going to be lackluster, all of us are not looking forward to Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell is not the best card out there,
Mhm.
but it's free. If we could use that as supplementary pricing to a bigger event, and use it to draw people into being like, hey, here's your top 16, here's your participation, here's use this as supplementary to the bigger stuff like add an iconic or add an enchanted or just lots of product at the top end, then I think it could get a pretty good turnout with a lot of prizing. So I think
Yeah.
it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think the main issue that we run into with set champs is that there's just too many of them, right? There's
Yeah.
like 30 in a day, something like that. So people are just
Mhm.
gonna go where the pricing is free. That's just inherently what's gonna happen. But I feel like if we break the rules, don't watch this Ravensburger. If we break the rules and do it like a week early or a week later, and you have like a bigger event.
I mean, there is normal deviations allowed, right? Like as much as I understand Ravensburger wants things to happen their way, and I know we've talked about this several times where, things don't go exactly the way we expect them to. There is normal deviations that TOs are fully capable and allowed to do, right? And as long as you can back it up with your reasoning, I think it's fair. If it's egregious where you're running a set champs at a really weird spot, like I think there's something to be said there, but like I don't know, running a set champs on a Friday, like or running a set champs on like if you're a smaller store and you know you're not going to have a big turnout and you want to try to get people in the store, you run a smaller one on a Friday. I don't think anyone's going to complain because there's a million of them happening.
Well,
Um,
my idea is kind of like if we have this block of set champs, right? Let's do the 1K set champ the week after
yeah,
or the week before, right?
yeah,
Because you're never, as much as we want to say that people will show up, you're never going to get the amount if it's just on a regular Saturday in the set champs block. Because like you'll get maybe, I don't know, what's your norm? Like if your store usually averages 12 and you do like a bigger event, it's going to get 20.
yeah,
Like it's just not going to happen because people will go where A, it's closer to play, B, where they know they're going to get prizes. Like uh some of these people that go to the set champs are not in it for the competition. They're in it for the pricing, which is
right.
totally fair. It's cool pricing. Like
They want
right,
the
you
card.
get you
Absolutely.
get you get your Lorcana merch. It's cool. But if we have it outside, like you said, the normal deviation, if we do it on like a Wednesday night or a Friday night, I don't know. I don't know how it would work, but those like we understand it would go late, something. But if you did it like maybe a week before, maybe a week after, and you have, it's specifically a set champ and it's specifically a 1K, like those are advertised together, maybe we could see like a big number.
Well, and I
Be
think
cool to
for
try.
set champ season, people or stores really need to try to find Sunday slots. As like
Yeah.
I understand a lot of people don't want to play on Sundays. I get it. Make it earlier on a Sunday, run it on Sundays because there's so many stores running it on Saturday that those Saturdays get just booked with tons and they end up having to run their 1K on Saturday at 4 p.m. It's like, why not run it at 10 a.m. on a Sunday and try
Yeah.
to finish it a little
Earlier.
bit early? And I
Mhm.
think that's the strategy that I think a lot of card shops are missing. And I know like talking with Game Haven, they don't even open that early on Sundays. So
Right.
or and they close earlier on Sundays as well. So they can't even be open late enough to run the whole tournament. And so I think that's probably where some of the apprehension is that Sundays become a less popular day, especially in the state of Utah. But ultimately, I think that's the other thing is that you're gonna end up attracting more people. I think we saw that with Oasis. Oasis had a pretty awesome turnout this last set champs running it on Sunday. So you're gonna see that across the board where I think stores need to start doing it on Sunday as well. And then I think there was talk on the Thursday Lorecast where they were talking about how they were going to open it up and say not just Saturdays and Sundays, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I think that would
Agree.
also be another way to really kind of expand it out for the weekend.
Yeah, like if I had a Friday, like
On
if one of
toes.
my locals had the Friday event and it's like 7 people, those will finish.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think
I
that's the
mean,
thing is you just need to know your lane as your card
true.
shop, right? As your card
right.
shop, you know what your turnouts are. You know what your results are. So, understand that. Stop trying to compete in these larger slots unless you're going to offer some crazy
Mhm.
prizing, which in the end of the day, I actually don't encourage somebody who's not getting a good turnout to offer crazy pricing
Yeah.
as a store, because then if you offer crazy pricing and there's only like 8 people that show up, you can't just like go back on that, right? Like,
I agree
Right.
with that
Mhm.
completely. I think these stores that are getting like 6 or 7 people or 10 or 12, they just give out more of the like the promos that you have. Just like
yep,
use up your entire OP kit, just give it away, and
yep.
then that's perfect for you. But I don't think
Well,
like
I
trying
think you
to
can build
increase
it
your
into
pricing
the
is gonna
we can
boost
build it
that.
into the advertising too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like
No, go ahead.
you can always say, hey, like at certain thresholds of participants, you can increase the pricing.
Yeah.
Like you can advertise it ahead of time.
Yep, that's
And
true.
I mean, my theory is if you feed them, they will come, right? If you give them enough to want to come to your event, then I think you're going to get people to come. I mean,
Yep,
for example, we have these 1Ks. We've increased the pricing. You've shown a shiny card at the top. Yeah, it's beneficial for the store, but we got the players to come out for it.
yep.
So I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot to be discussed, and it's a really big discussion that stores have being like, how do we get people to come? How do we get people interested? So if anyone wants to, let us know what draws you to a store, is it competition? Is it pricing? Is it some mixture of just loving the community in Lorcana? Let us know in the comments. It's really good feedback.
Yep. Well, for sure. I think honestly, just that's something for stores in general that I think a lot of them wanted to understand is like, how do we get people in the door?
Mhm.
And I think honestly, Hearthside and Game Grid Lehigh have shown the map, which is get some cool prizing, put it out there for them, give people something to compete for, and I'm just so excited to see this growing, right? This is
Yeah.
something
Mhm.
like
Me too.
we can't understate how much growth this is, right? Like having two back-to-back 1Ks has never happened.
It's been a shot
So,
in the arm for
right,
sure.
like this is the
Really
first
good.
time this has ever happened, and the
With good
players came
turnout.
out for it. The
Yeah.
players did it. And so card shops, you did your job. Players, you did your job. Hey, here we go. Let's keep it up.
To
Everybody's
win.
doing everything. So all right. Anyway, so a lot of cool stuff locally. Let's jump into our the worldwide Lorcana fun, which is DLC Melbourne. Just wrapped up last night. This is it's Sunday that we're recording this, so it wrapped up last night for them. And the dogs deck takes the victory in DLC Melbourne, which is going to be a little controversial for I know a lot of local players actually, I know every local player really loves dogs. It's just their favorite
Yep.
deck. Yeah,
Yep.
it's dogs is
Put
their
that on
favorite.
record.
Yeah, I know we had the biggest dogs
100%
turnout
factual.
ever at the Hearthside 1K, right? That was a huge dogs turnout at
I heard that was an underground psyop, but
it was an
oh,
underground psyop.
I'm not gonna leak my info.
Yeah, I was privy to the information while I was there. I may have taken a
And
picture with all the dogs players holding up some dogs stuffed animals. So,
I hear they had a really good time too.
yeah, they all did. Every one of
Yeah.
them really loved playing dogs. I think Bobby was, you know, very happy with his performance with his dogs deck.
Yeah.
He had to run into Michael Vick, and that was the only problem that he ran into. But outside of that, it was a good performance for him. But yeah, so like without further ado, let's review the Costco hot dogs list from
Yes.
Dylan Leduc. He ended up winning the DLC. I got to watch it. He won it in spectacular fashion, as you would expect, where dogs just bullied the crap out of Blurple. And I think we all kind of know that that's how that goes, especially when the Blurple list is not playing any item hate, by the way.
Yeah.
So, um,
One
you know,
favorite for sure.
one thing I will say, if I can give anybody any advice, items, they're here. They're here to stay. So you might want to play some stuff to get rid of those things. So this list, I mean, so let's break it down. I mean, it's not very dissimilar from Paul's list. I think the first thing that jumps out to me is that Paul did not have Della's Moon Lullaby, which I think is really
Mm.
important to keep in your deck. Synergizes well with Under the Sea. Synergizes, or it's really good for getting rid of Iagos, getting rid of, obviously Palace Guards, which didn't seem to be as heavily represented as before. But I think Iago is always going to be around, so it's worth running the Della's Moon Lullaby for that.
And it draws a card, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
and it
cool.
draws a card. I mean,
Yes.
you sing it with your two cost character. Grandma Willow can sing it if you need her to. And then the other thing that is different here is that we're not seeing the what is it, the three drop lady. So no three drop lady in here. Electa, you go straight up going Nani, and then we have a 3-3 split on the Mowgli Ursula, so more of an even split across our Mowgli and Ursula's. But
Hmm.
outside of that, basically identical list. So I think this is probably something that I would gravitate towards more a little bit, just because simplifying my three drops has always been something I've tried to do in my dogs deck. I kind of split between a couple of them, and I started being a little bit cheeky and including that chip for a while that gives you one
Mm,
extra lore
Mm.
when you play them. So I got a little cheeky with that, but I think Nani is just too good in this deck. I mean, you
yeah.
can't not play her. She's just an auto draw. She adds a singer strength for your under the sea. So just a great dogs list. This is exactly what you'd want to see. Oh, also no Mulan in this list as well. Very
Yeah.
important to state that. I think everybody thought Mulan was an auto add in dogs lists. We're not seeing it here. I think it's hard to fit, right? Like it's just what do you cut for Mulan if you look at this list? So
Yeah, I think a lot of people are split on how good she is right now. There's people that think that she's a trap, and then there's other people that quest for 14 in one turn with her.
yeah,
So,
Shout out Paul.
yeah, way to go, Paul.
shout out Paul.
But yeah, I
So I
think
mean, I think
yeah, go ahead.
like a deck like this is desperate for card draw. So I think Nani is one of those wonderful cards that fits in really well.
Absolutely.
Um, so I think that I mean that's why the Shift Lady has been just monumental in keeping this deck going, is because it draws two essentially.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it is really interesting. I think the amount of fun that this deck has in it now with Nani included, yeah, I think this is the way to play it. And I will
mhm.
say, Under the Sea Chromicon, this is frozen, by the way. There's no way you can go less Under the Sea. There's no way you can go less Chromicon. This is it. And I think you go more Under the Sea, you're in trouble. And I think we just talked about previously, you go more Chromicon, you might be in trouble. I
Yeah.
feel like this is your frozen, like if you're building this deck, just start there. Those are
I
your
feel
five
I feel
five
like
Mm,
auto include
50
cards.
spots in this deck are locked in, right?
Yeah.
Maybe even 55.
Yeah, you're probably keeping Daisy. Grandma Willow in this deck is just insane.
Yeah.
Um,
incredible.
I mean, I watched it on the stream last night. The Dylan plays, he has Grandma Willow on the field. He plays Bobby for free and then just cycles and he's got 4 ink left to work with. And you're just like, okay, that's how that works. And then there was one turn he played two Lilos for 3 ink, and you're just like, that's
Mm,
how do you deal with that? Like it's just insane to see this list kind of Grandma Willow just really kind of blows this list up and makes it crazy good. So you gotta respect it. Like there was a game he played against Amethyst Steel that I was watching and he quested without the Chromicon on board. And I was like, oh, that's curtains, right? Normally, you go against Amethyst Steel and they have a board and you quest without Chromicon, you're kind of in trouble. Didn't matter. He just, Grandma Willow was able to play 4 cards every single turn. And so he was able to just keep on questing and Amethyst Steel just could not stop it. So there's just a lot of really good speed in this deck, and yeah, it's something you definitely have to respect for sure. So
Interesting points on dogs at Melbourne. Um, there was like 20% conversion rate. So that means that
wow,
20% of players that played dogs got top 32, which is
that's
a
crazy.
crazy amount.
that's a
This deck
really
did
good.
exceptionally well at that event. And I'm not sure what that means for Dent, but it you can expect a lot of dogs, I think. That conversion rate is astronomical. That
Well,
I don't know
dogs
if
was
any deck has been that high.
10% of the list, right? Like,
Yeah,
or
10% of the field, but
that's crazy.
20% of players that played it got top 32.
That's insane.
Yeah, very, very large number.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, that's just such a good, um, return there. Like,
Yeah, it's well
you
poised
can't
for that
fight it.
event for
Yeah.
sure.
It's crazy because we thought Dogs was going to be such a represented deck in Richmond. and
Hmm.
it didn't get red. I think it was like 7%, if I
Yeah.
remember right.
Yeah, it was below
And
10.
so, yeah, and so we're just, if we keep seeing this with dogs, like, what does that mean for us, right? Like, as a Blurple player, you kind of just say, well, I'm gonna lose to dogs, right? Like, if I hit it, I hit it, and if
Well,
I
the
don't hit it,
players
I'm
start taking
happy.
that gamble when it's
Right.
like below 10%. They're like, well, I just won't hit the deck.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But then if it finds its way to kind of skirt through and get to its favorable matchups, which I mean, I thought when Dylan was going to the semis and he's playing against Am Steel, I was like, man,
It's over.
that's a tough matchup, man. I
And then
thought
he
he's
gets through it somehow.
yeah, and he got through it in the most unlikely of fashions. And the other thing, Am Steel player wasn't playing any item removal either. So I mean, the fact that he hit two decks that were no item removal and it was open deck lists, so he knew there was no item removal. So he
Yeah.
was unabated. I'm getting Chromicon down on three, and good luck dealing with my bounce shenanigans here. And I mean that as a dogs player is like freeing to be like, oh
Hmm.
well, I could just keep my Chromicon in my opener. Cool, that's easy. Because if
Perfect.
if they've got item hate, like most of the time you don't even want to keep that in your opener, and you're kind of in a really weird place of you have to make that choice of when to go sideways, otherwise you lose the game. And finding those favorable traits. So it was really interesting to watch with the DLC, and we'll see what happens with the with Gant, right? I think who knows? I think if it's me, I'm probably just building the dogs deck personally. Like I'm taking
Yeah.
dogs with me if I'm going to Gant personally.
Also, I think a fun thing to note is that, I don't think there's any yellow blue in the top 64 or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
there was a guy that
maybe
got
maybe there's
39th.
one.
Yeah,
One.
39th
There's one.
was the best placing. But
Yeah,
That's crazy to
no
me.
blue yellow in top 32.
That's
yeah,
crazy to me.
and
Like
that's
there's so much blue. I'm seeing a ton of blurple.
well, and
Yeah.
I
So
think that's really
I don't
interesting
know.
from the blue yellow perspective because I think everybody was thinking kind of what we were talking about, where Raging Storm might just be a little too late. But then in my
Mhm.
playtesting with blue yellow, it feels so good. Like that Raging Storm, even though it's at 8, it's not far enough for it to be a problem, in my opinion.
Yeah. The I'm surprised too because blue yellow, I don't we didn't really talk about this, but it has a very good matchup into blurple. So if your field is like 20% blurple and you bring blue yellow, you have a have good odds. It's
Yeah.
good into blue yellow
Mhm.
or it's good into blurple and it's good into purple steel. So I think at Ghent you're going to see a lot more blue yellow. People are going to figure that out. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
how dogs fit into this mix now that it won, is
Yeah.
that people are going to get scared and play, if you play, so imagine like the field becomes all these dog hating decks, right?
Yeah.
Then your blue
Mhm.
yellow deck is automatically best deck, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
your control list is going to beat all of these lists that
Are
go
going
to
after
beat dogs.
dogs. Yep.
Yeah. But if everybody starts thinking about that and then doesn't do any of that and they all play blue yellow and blurple, then dogs becomes the best deck again.
Yeah.
So it's like this game that you can never
Round and
win.
round
Like
and round.
it's a logic loop that doesn't end. And everything you do is just a 50-50. Like you either like hit your desired outcome or you don't. It's weird. It's
Yeah.
very hard to prep for a
That's kind of
tournament
fun
like
though.
that.
It's kind of
Yeah,
fun.
like there's tons of things you could play against. It's gonna be interesting, like couple weeks of testing for sure while we're there.
Well, and I think it's
I
really
mean, so
interesting to see the dogs lists were more represented than Amethyst Steel at the DLC,
Mhm.
which is kind of insane to me,
Crazy.
right? You see that and you're just like, okay,
I think that's gonna
well,
flip. I think
yeah,
again you're gonna see more purple steel than dogs because this just won. Like
yeah,
I think that's just a natural thing that will happen.
yep. Well, that's how it goes. That's
Because
crazy.
that's their worst matchup, right? Dog's worst matchup is probably just purple steel.
It's almost
Like
anything with
in a
steel.
vacuum.
Almost
Yeah.
anything
same.
with steel, right? Anytime you end
Yeah.
up having to deal with steel, it becomes a little
But
bit more
of
challenging.
of like I guess there's definitely decks that are built to beat dogs and that's all they do. But of like the
Mhm.
competitive top decks, purple steel is probably your worst matchup.
Blue steel,
I'd say
honestly.
purple
I
steel's
think
the most
I'd
fun.
rather see purple steel over blue steel, personally.
Interesting. Okay.
If I saw blue steel, I'm like, that's a loss.
It's
Like
just
right
over.
away. Because they're running Pluto. You already know they are. Like there's
Yeah.
no question. Purple steel might run one item removal. They
Mhm.
might run
Benja or
two,
Pluto.
right? They might run something, but that's the
Mhm.
thing is you can't even run Pluto in purple steel because it's just so late.
Yeah.
Like it comes down so late in comparison to when it's in blue steel. And when you're playing blue steel, you're like, they have a Pluto. They do. There's no question. So, and it's just a matter of when they get it down. And if they get down two Plutos, you might as well just sign your check at that
You're
point. You're
done.
done. Yeah, game over.
Well, another sleeper one that's actually really good on beating up dogs is Amethyst Ruby. Ruby Amethyst.
Yeah, Ruby
The
M. I
challenger
mean,
one.
we saw that. We saw that
Yeah.
with Omar,
It
right?
beats up on dogs
Shout out
any
to
day of the
shout out
week.
to Michael Vick
So
from the
Yeah, I just
1K
don't
R
think
side.
that deck's very playable right now.
No, no.
yeah, it's very difficult to take into the current meta, except for dogs. So
Yep.
if there's a lot of puppies around, then you're gonna be
True.
doing pretty good.
Yeah, if you only play against that.
It
Yeah.
is interesting to see that the burn deck kind of disappeared. So it's I guess good and bad, right? I think the burn deck dropped off quite a bit. I personally, every time I've played with slash against it, it feels very high rolly. It is one of those decks that you can definitely miss your Inkcaster and then you're done, right? Or if they remove your Inkcaster
Mhm.
early enough, you're done. And
It's very
so,
sad.
yeah, it's a very interesting deck. But when it hits, it hits. So it's very
Mhm.
interesting
I mean,
with that.
to the sorry, to the note on that color combination though, Snowfort.
Yeah,
Snowfort's been an interesting one to see pop up, and it
yeah,
runs the Amethyst Emerald. I think my favorite thing from the Snowfort builds is freaking running Lewis. Lewis and Snowfort, they are a match made in heaven. They are
yeah,
so good together. I
absolutely.
I
Resist
hate it
on
when
your
I see
Lewis. That's crazy.
yeah, reckless, and then they just have to get eaten, and then your Lewis doesn't die. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I got to do some playtesting with some of these decks because I thought when I was watching Andre pilot the Amethyst Emerald deck with Snowfort, I thought that deck looked really strong, like really, really strong.
Mhm.
And I did not know what could stop it. I mean, I guess obviously a board wipe comes in and ruins its day pretty bad, but it was drawing tons of cards. It was playing tons of cards. It was questing for a million. Pocahontas was doing her best impression of a communist and questing with her opponent's lore as well. I mean, it
Our
was
lore.
yeah, just I mean, Pocahontas, the communist quester, she does the things. So
I think it's kind of neat, but like Snowforce just not Chromacon, right?
yeah,
I think that's just what it
It's
comes
fun.
down to. I think Chromacon just affects the board way too much, and Snowfort is like it's cool, but it's a lot easier to work around than something that like you literally lose your characters.
yeah. For me as a little bit of a or for me as the not a little bit of, but as the crayon eating marine. Snowfort makes a lot more sense to me to play because then I don't have to try to think about how they're going to do their bounces,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like how they're
Mhm.
going to do their trades, and I don't have to like think
Right.
about like, okay, they're going to hit me. I need to
You just
bounce
go
this
burr.
character, and I'm just
Yeah,
going right, like in
right.
comparison. So I like Snowfort because there's less thinking, and obviously the people who can pilot the Chromacon are going to be more successful than somebody who's running the Snowfort. But yeah, I think you could totally like going back to this dogs list, you could totally just swap Chromacon out for Snowfort. It's the
Yeah.
same cost, same. It's both. They're both uninkable. You
Mhm.
could and see if it does what you want it to. Um, I mean, at that point, I think if you're playing Snowfort, I'd rather play Mulan because then she quests for two
Hmm.
automatically. So I think there's that, but there's stuff to consider there, right?
Mhm.
All
So yeah,
right.
fun things happening worldwide.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. It was a fun tournament. I mean, congratulations to Dylan for taking that down. Congratulations to Dogs for their first ever DLC win.
They were due, I
Especially
think.
Right?
especially the Costco hot dogs here. Look at
That's right.
that. Costco hot dogs,
Guys,
hey, they're cheap and they taste great, right?
and
So
that deck was only 100, just over 100 bucks, $114. So
there you go.
that's pretty good.
That doesn't hurt considering the rest of the meta's probably
300.
quadruple that.
Yeah, it's like Blurple's going at almost 500. So
Yep.
They have so many legendaries in that deck. Okay, well, that's enough of talking about the top meta decks right now, but I think we have some giveaways to do today.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do a little bit different today. Today we've got what we're calling a new player pack. We've got a playmat, a fabled binder, and two fabled packs that we're giving away to a lucky new player. And we do want to give it away to a new player. So what we're gonna have for this giveaway this week is shout out in the comments or the review section, like normal, but just say, hey, I've got this new player I'm teaching, or shout them out by name if you feel comfortable. Anything to deal with a new player, if you know somebody, give us a comment, tell us about it, and we're going to enter you in for this giveaway. And I think it's a really great way to get people engaged in the game. They get a playmat to play with, they get binder to hold their new collection, and a couple of packs to open. Pretty cool. So definitely drop a comment on new players, however you feel comfortable doing that. And then we have two fabled packs to give away this week as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this week, we want to know which decks you hate to play against the most and why. So with dogs just winning, the joke in Utah is we all hate dogs. Omar's Michael Vick for a reason. Look that up if you want to. I'm not going to explain it here. But comment your favorite or your least favorite deck to play against, decks you hate playing against, and why. And you're going to be entered into the fabled pack giveaway. And again, that is any comment on YouTube, Spotify, or if you leave a review on Apple, and you'll be entered in. So let us know. We appreciate you guys, and we're gonna have some great packs to give away next week.
What's the over under on dogs being the answers? Like if we, or percentage, I should say. What's the over under on the percentage of the comments for dogs, right? Are we gonna go 60%? 60% on that?
No, I don't think it's gonna be that high, but I think around 35-40% of people are gonna say dogs.
All right, 35-40%. I like it. It's good. Yeah,
I'm taking under 50% though, for sure. I think
go.
other people hate, like, there's the crowd that hate playing against the meta decks, right? The crazy like meta decks, and then there's the people that hate playing against aggro.
Yeah. No, I think,
and then some completely wild. Like my least favorite deck is not to play against is not dogs. My least favorite to play against is blue green because they always have the answer, and I can't seem to, like, it doesn't matter what I do if they have the answer. They're zero. They're like Pete, but that's not good. Pete does not go into my Blurple deck.
If I had to pick a deck that I hated to play against the most, it's Amethyst Steel, just because I still have PTSD from Denver, and the fact that somebody else can pilot the deck and beat me with it, there's something about that makes me want to scream, because I'm just like, man, I played it so hard, I thought I had it, and then I just got wrecked all weekend, and then now I'm just like, I can't play it. And when I do play it, I'm like, I get mad because I'm like, oh, I did good on this time, and like, why couldn't I have done good back at Denver? And I think that's it. I think it's not even because it's a bad deck to play against. It's just I have a vendetta against that deck. Those ink colors, right?
Oh, you do. Sorry, PTSD sucks.
Yep, it happens. Yeah, it's life.
I felt but losing to blue green, I felt so much better losing to like something like blue red, where they just be prepared, lose the whole board, But blue green is like, oh, they have one card in hand, surely. But then it's the next card every time, and then your board's gone, and they shifted, and then they're questing for 3. You're like, oh gosh, why is it so much better?
I think my favorite comment about that is the surest way to get your opponent the card that they need is to, especially if it's a song, is to play Ursula and look at an empty hand, because they're always going to draw the next turn.
Every time,
every single time.
Play Ursula, expect to hit malicious, mean, and scary. You see Prince Philip, it's the next card.
The thing that drives me crazy about Ursula is when I play it, whiff. Right, but then when they play it, they are cracked every time. They're like, I played Ursula at the weirdest place. Like, they'll play her when they've got like 6 ink, and you're like, where did this Ursula come from? Like, that should have been 2 turns ago. I just top decked this song, and now you're playing this Ursula to remove it from my hand. Like, that's not fair. It's not fair. So no, I think sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the worst, that the deck I hate playing against the most is the decks that beat me. I think is the
I hate losing.
I hate losing against decks, man. If I could win all the time, I think I'd love every deck I played against. So
I can't wait to look at Justin's Ravensburger Hub win score. It's gonna be great.
Oh man, it's so bad. There's a reason why I judge. I tell the people this all the time. There's a very good reason why I judge. It's because I cannot win. So
Yeah, I mean, as far as least favorite decks, I think my least favorite deck has to be anything that beats my aggro babies.
yeah,
So especially when they are not supposed to. So anything
Yeah.
that's a control list that beats my aggro babies. Come on now.
there you go. Know your lane, control list. You're supposed to lose to
Know your
me.
lane. I play Daisy deck, you fold. That's it.
That's it. Scoop right there on the spot.
We're
Double
done.
daisy, run away, crying. That's funny. Amazing. Well, I mean, that's going to be a fun comment. I'm
Yeah, I
really
hope
excited to
the
see
comment
the,
section just pops off. I want to see everybody's least favorite decks.
yeah, I'm really excited to see the engagement. And I mean, doing the giveaways for the new player pack is going to be really fun. I'm
Yeah,
excited about
that's a
that.
fun one.
Yep. And oh, I mean, I totally forgot, but I do owe the podcast a Whispers in the Well pack. So I will go pick that up and we'll do that for giveaway next week so that we can have that available because I owe the podcast due to my crazy bet that I made about Sisu being included in Whispers or not Whispers in the Well as a winter spell pack.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've got to I gotta think of more bounties this set.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Gma Willow, justice for Grandma Tala. Sorry. Not
Just
Grandma Willow, Grandma
Gra-
Tala. Justice for Grandma
Dramatala.
Tala.
Yeah, if that's in your deck at all, I'll give you a pack. I don't care.
Dude, worst card ever made. So bad. It's so bad. Let's see here. So getting into what we got coming up with the set champs, we got to talk about what we think are the best decks. Now, we're kind of way too early. I think we saw a couple of tournaments. I mean, just because Dogs wins, just because Blue Steel wins, that doesn't necessarily make them the best decks.
If
Um,
anything, dogs winning should make you scared to play dogs because now everybody it's on their radar,
oh yeah,
right?
it's gonna
And there's
heavy
so many
against it.
there's so many ways to build decks that I actually just shut down the deck. So
Yeah.
dogs has always been in a precarious position. That's why it's always like 10, like anywhere from like 7 to 12% of the field is dogs at any given event, just because it's so easy to play against. Like if you're teching your deck to beat aggro, it's like the easiest inclusions to make. You play an item hate and now you're just favored. So
Well, and the other thing about Dogs too that's really important to note, it's not a deck you can just pick up and learn in a weekend. That
yeah,
deck
the
takes
Chromacon
time.
decisions, the when to quest and when not to. You
Yep.
know, like go Tamago, when to like you bounce that to your hand, like looping that.
Yep.
There's all sorts of play lines in that deck. Um,
Yeah. No,
but
there's
that's
scenarios
being
where it's
said, I
tough.
think it's still one of the better decks to bring to a set chance. So
And it's the
I
most
agree.
don't be
approach. I
scared.
think it's one of the most approachable, as far as cost effective wise
Yeah.
decks, right? Like
Mhm.
that whole always holds near and dear to my heart. It's like if you can build a deck for pretty cheap
Mm-hmm.
and be competitive with it at least, then I think that's a deck in my mind that's a good deck.
Yeah, it's just like that burn deck, right? We saw one of those at the
Yep.
top 8 of the 1K. So
Yep.
one
100%.
got 7th and one got 9th. So
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
But
as far as predictions, even though they are far too early,
yeah,
yeah,
this is the
um,
way too early.
way too early predictions.
I mean, for me, I think that the safest bet has to be Blurple. I still think that has all the tools that it needs. It
Yep.
can tech an item hate. It can be flexible enough to adjust to whatever metagame is out there, and you can still be good in the mirror. I think Blurple is still top tier deck number one. It really hates seeing yellow blue, which is pretty popular right now, but I still think it's top dog.
I think it hates seeing yellow blue. It hates seeing green blue too, right? Like it's not like it's super
Not
happy.
it's not it's not that bad anymore. Let It Go is actually like super good.
Let it go changes it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Back,
because
let it
you
go.
get rid of the Clarabelle pretty easily. Like
Yeah.
just on demand, you get rid of the Clarabelle, and then it's a lot easier to deal with the. If you just deal with Clarabelle and Prince Philip, you win that matchup, right? As the
Yeah.
Blurple player.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Let It Go has actually made it a lot more approachable.
That's fair. And I
Shout out
mean
to
Sven too.
Hector.
Sven can clear Prince Philip.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
exactly.
I didn't even
And
think
that's the
about
thing
that.
is it like the Sven also with a Basil kills the Clarabelle. So not only do you not need Let It like sometimes not need Let It Go, you can just Sven kill the Clarabelle immediately.
That's crazy.
And then the
So
reindeer.
our old reigning champ Hector, who did so well at the 1K before, had a very bad experience against Blurple and was winning in.
Yeah.
It just Let It Go just gets you.
Yeah.
So I don't think
Oh,
that matchup is as bad for Blurple as we once thought.
not anymore, obviously,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
changed. That's
Mhm.
interesting. So yeah, Blurple got some tools, and I think yeah, I'd agree with you there, Kevin. It's going to be a great deck for sure, something to play against. And
It's
So I'm gonna break it into three sections for myself.
okay,
My top decks. If I'm gonna break it into fast decks, mid range decks, and control decks. If you
yeah,
want to play fast deck, play either dogs
mhm,
A or play that purple green stuff with the fort. That's
yeah,
pretty fun.
yeah,
So
Mhm.
dogs is the easy approachable options, and then snow fort is the experimental fun version. Okay.
mhm,
And then in mid range, play either Blurple or Purple Steel. You got your Amethyst decks. That's where they shine, right?
yeah,
And then for control, you've got blue green and you've got blue yellow. I think those are my top decks for those three categories.
yeah, yeah. I
Control
think.
is going to be something that Blurple with control, not
Sorry,
mid
what was
range.
that?
I was always under the assumption that Blurple was a control list, not a mid range deck. Am I completely off on that?
Not it's less control in the sense of like I've got this board wipe, you know.
Yeah,
It's like kind of by definition a control deck, but it fits more into that mid range role, right? You're still
All
playing like one
right, all
character at a
right.
time.
You changed my opinion. That's fine.
well, if I'll go for, I'll just kind of go for kind of what I went through last set, which I went blue green best deck. We're gonna go blue yellow best deck for this set because I just think it's got all the answers. It draws every single card. Like every time I played against it, they have like 10 cards left in their deck. Like they draw
Yeah,
all of their cards
there's a
every
ton of
game.
interesting lines, right? You can set up some it depends on your list, right? But you can
Yep.
set up some crazy Ohana traps where like I'm gonna about to draw like five cards.
Yep. But I mean, I think for me, I want to explore the idea that we play like we have a side deck, but we don't have a side deck. And this is where my brain's starting to gravitate towards, which is trying to play for the matchups that you know you can win versus
Mhm.
playing for the matchups that you are unfavored into. I feel like there's been so many times where I've been just fighting with myself trying to make my deck work for everything. And when I spread out these control decks and I make them work for all, they suffer into everything else. And so I think for me, if I'm going to run and if when I'm building this deck, I'm going to build it for my wife because my wife loves control and she loves the way that the control plays. So the way I'm going to build it for her is just, hey, if you see an aggro deck, you're going to lose it. There's no question, right? Like it sucks. It'd be nice to not lose it, but you're gonna lose it. But make sure you win your matchups. Make sure you win those blurple matchups. Make sure you win those mirror matchups. And I feel like that's the way that I'm going to build out this deck for blue yellow personally. And maybe that's the right way, maybe that's the wrong way. I don't know. But what I want to build for is I want to build for the idea that we have side decks because I think that we've talked about this before. If we could have side decks, I think this would be a much more fun skill expression type of game to be able to say, I'm going to build my deck to tech for what I know I can beat, and then if I have those matchups that are not favorable to me, I can tech in these other cards. And I honestly would love to. And if you're a tournament organizer, please let me know. I would love to do a kind of like off the cuff riffing side deck tournament at your card shop so that we could just experiment with this anyways and just see how it goes. Like follow some of the same rules of Magic and say like, hey, you start with your 60 cards. After game one, you can side deck in, and you have to return to your original 60 cards when you move to your next match. But I would love to see how that plays personally, because I think that it could really add some fun skill expression to the game. But I think I'm going to play that way in general, of like rather than trying to build a deck that's going to be really good against, or not really good against everything, but it's going to have some little
An
tech
answer.
option. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just going to build it simple, smart, straightforward. And I think that's, like I said, goes back to me being a crayon eating Marine at the end of the day. Like I gotta simplify things for myself sometimes. So
Well,
Me-
so I'll give my thoughts on side decking in this game. I don't
yeah,
think it can happen currently. I
yeah,
don't think you could just like next set be like, hey, there's side decks. And I think it's because they designed the game around not having one
yeah,
for now.
yeah,
Right. So
Mhm.
if tomorrow you would like allowed side decks, Blurple would just be far and away the best deck, no questions asked. Like it has every option for every type of deck that you would want in a
Yeah.
side deck. It would just be unbeatable.
I agree.
But if on the next rotation they wanted to implement a side deck, they could rotate out the cards that are problems and then start releasing cards in their sets that facilitate side decks. So you'd have more side deck cards in different colors, etc. And then that's where a side deck could be introduced or reintroduced. I guess no but introduced into a meta is when you can like freshly
Control
like design for
Yeah,
it.
that's fair. That's fair.
So a lot of people are hesitant to say, yeah, side decks and Lorcana, but any deck that has a side deck, they design the game around side decking. So it's like, it makes
Right.
it better.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the argument out there right now is that your side deck cards are your inkable cards, right? There's the flexible ones that you
Yeah.
can or cannot you know, be ink or not, and you can use in certain situations and ink in other ones.
But then like the
And
best side deck cards are all uninkable. So
Yeah.
and then right, exactly.
Or they're not even that they're uninkable, but it's just like they're just not advantageous to draw, right? Like
yeah, like
off the
Spooky
top.
Side is the definition of a side deck card, dude.
Oh
That
yeah.
card is
Hmm.
unplayable in every matchup. It's like except for the one. It's
Yeah.
just it
Hmm.
is you Tipo it or you Cinderella it or it's garbage.
Yep. Well, and I
Hmm.
think that's for me, if I'm playing blue yellow, I am not playing Spooky Sight personally
You
because I
think
just
so?
know
I think two is still necessary.
that's fair. I think a lot of people do believe that. But I think for me, when you play Spooky Sight, you are dedicating two of your uninkable slots to something that's going to not help you in the mirror at all.
Yeah,
Zero help
it's
in the
really
mirror,
bad.
right?
It's really bad
And
into purple. It's really bad at
yeah, I
you
mean
can't
there's
give
there's
purple
so many
steel
decks it
ink.
sucks.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, I just cannot play it. I think I will die on the hill that I think it's one of the worst cards
Yeah, I
that's
think maybe we
ever
could
been
see
made.
the meta go that way too. Where
Yeah.
like especially like in Richmond, the blue green players were like, well, if I hit dogs, I lose.
Yeah.
That's just
Well,
it.
and that's I think
Hmm.
they were rewarded for that in Richmond and potentially you run into the same rewards across the board. But for me, I like I said, I just want to simplify my life a little bit. It's just
Yeah.
too much like, oh, let me dig for this one exact card that I might have in my deck. And to be fair, it feels so good when you pull that
When it
card off the
happens.
top that it is the answer that you've been looking for. And it feels really good. I get that. But for me, it's just like the
Hmm.
juice is not worth the squeeze, man. Like
Yeah.
there's been so many times that I've been digging and don't get it, or it's three cards too short, or whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you know what? I could have just told myself that this wasn't going to be a good matchup and walked away from it, right? But it's
I mean,
tough.
it can swing games. I mean, I was playing a Sapphire Ruby deck a few weeks back and ran into dogs. And when I got that spooky sight, I was like, I win
Wee.
with this card alone. So it does feel really good. But I want to back up just a little bit for all those listening right now. That's now two hills that Justin is choosing to die on. The
Yes,
first is
two,
that he hates Goliath,
two.
and
Yes, Goliath hate
the second,
spooky
and
sight.
now
Spooky
spooky
Sight
side
and
hates.
Goliath. Do
I have
not
multiple
let
death
Justin
hills.
see his six drop. He hates them.
Hate six drops. Get rid of them,
Well, they're
man.
all bad.
Dude, I mean, I
It's
think
five or seven. You don't have six.
yeah, that's I honestly the Sapphire Steel, the Sapphire Ember list I'm playing, no six drops in
Yeah,
it.
I
It just
know.
has five or sevens. It's
We get
hilarious.
it. Okay.
Yeah. Zero love for the six drops, man. Get them out of my list. But yeah, I think for sure that's kind of where I'm at. Goliath for sure. I think I'm still on that board of just I do not like him. I do not like that card. Maybe if I play Blue Steel, I'd like him, but I just do not like that card.
Well,
And
I think
then
for
yeah,
Ghent, the Tigers are all gonna be testing a lot of blue yellow. I think
yeah,
we're pretty high on that deck right now. It beats all the decks you
It's
want it to
pretty
beat.
good.
And
it's
then
good. Raging Storm does not feel bad. It does not feel
yeah,
bad.
it's fine. There's
Mm-mm.
options to like eat like that's what I've been saying all along. Is like yeah, Raging Storm. You're just gonna find ways to make it feel good afterwards, right? You play
Yep.
like proactive stuff instead of reactive stuff. Like you can't follow up Raging Storm with a Hades. Like the
Yep.
deck just falls apart. But you can follow up Raging Storm with like Pete's, Scuttles, the
Yep.
new
Mhm.
Tamatoa. It's pretty
Yep.
cool.
New Tamatoa is really
Fanny.
fun with him
Yeah.
being Ward and doing some stuff there. I mean, the other thing I wanted to mention, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it
Yes.
because I want it to be a thing, but Sapphire Ruby is close. It is so freaking close.
It
It
is
is
close.
right on the edge of being a good deck. And I honestly think if you want it to be a deck that you can play, like I honestly think it's a viable enough deck to play right now.
Hmm.
Um,
I agree.
but mid-range it, make it mid-range. And
Yep.
and I, as much as that sounds crazy, blue-red becomes mid-range, and you play it like a mid-range deck. You play out a curve instead of saying I'm going to ramp real hard and get into my big characters. You're still going to do some ramp in there, and I think you obviously want Cindy in there to help with some of that. But I think you kind of just play out a curve here, and maybe you have some three drops in there. Maybe you have some stuff that gets you closer. I don't think Mal Dragon is possible to include. I think she's just too big in the list, and it just takes too long to get there. But the new Pete with the old Pete creates a Maldragon
Yeah.
situation.
Hmm.
So I think you've got some stuff there that you can work through. And like I said, I think Blue Red's a pretty decent deck. I just think you have to change the way you play it.
I'm
Yeah, there's
ready
some
for
interesting options. I was saying this to some people I know is that with blue red specifically, maybe like ramping's so good, but there are quite a few good two drops and three drops in the red colors that people just can't play because of
uh
ramp. So I was thinking like maybe if you move away from this ramp heavy, but you keep like Cinderella, maybe that's enough. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
There, but I think there is some space to explore. And as time goes on in this meta, we'll see that. But I don't think you'll see that in the next 2 weeks. You'll see that more in like a month.
Yeah.
Something crazy coming out like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I'm
agree.
looking forward to it because red. I haven't been a huge fan of red blue because I felt in the past it was just like be prepared for bust,
Yeah.
and it was really molded by that card. But I feel like there's a lot of flexibility in those two colors
Yeah,
now
there's
on
some
how you can build
interesting
it, and
options with Ralph and
it's
the
fun.
new the old Pete, I guess, but the new synergy with Pete,
Well, I
pretty
like
cool.
Ralph
Hmm.
too, and I wasn't even playing it this way. You can include the Lonely Grave, but I like Ralph playing with the David Xanatos character. That when it
Hmm.
quests, it gives a character rush.
Yeah, you can play David Xanatos. You can still include the Lonely Grave and Time to Go. So if you have David Xanatos, you can Time to Go like your Tipo or I
Yep.
don't know whatever two drop you're playing now. But there's some
Hmm.
stuff there,
Yep.
and maybe it's not like you ramp with. Maybe you just include Sail and no Tipo, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like I don't know.
If you miss your
There's
ramp
like
on
this
two,
half and half kind of
yeah.
way to play it.
Every every single Sapphire player right now is rolling.
Yeah,
Just
I
like,
just created
Drama.
I
You
don't
just
know, but
drama all day.
there's enough that in the in between now that it may kind of make sense. So I'm interested to
Mhm.
see.
Yeah. There's something to be for sure asked about that. And I mean, obviously you also have the liquidator that you're probably wanting to play, but then when you are on the play, he feels completely useless. But if you then are no longer playing a two drop for ramp, then liquidator
I don't
becomes
know.
something to play there.
I think Liquidator is really good when you're ramping and really bad when you're playing a mid-range deck because it just stalls the board enough where in
Yeah.
mid-range that kind of impedes you more than it impedes your opponent. Like it's just going to die to an Anlanwi or a Basil or something
Right.
little. Like
It sucks so
it's
bad.
not
They just turn
interest.
it
It's not
sideways and you're
getting
like, that sucks.
yeah, it doesn't like kill good things. It just kills the one drop. So it's like, why did I play that over any other one drop?
It'd
Like
be
it's
so much better if it wasn't reckless. Like if you could
yeah.
just have it and just let
Mhm.
it
But
sit there
but the
as a
only reason
threat.
you have to include it in the ramp version is because you have to kill Daisy Duck.
Right.
Otherwise, you've lost the
Mhm.
game.
It's just a
Right.
Daisy murderer. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you have like a more little mid-range deck, I don't know, maybe you have a different way to kill. Like maybe you play Lumiere instead, right? And then your Tinkerbell just kills the Daisy. And then if you play
Mhm.
like I don't know, we're just reinventing red purple right now, but like you play
Mhm.
Lumiere with the Tinkerbell, and then you can play the shift Tinkerbell that exerts the Daisy, and you can just kill it with the shift. It's kind of cool.
Well, maybe that
Mhm.
is it. Maybe, blue red's just all reliable 2.0, right? Like
Yeah, maybe there's
it's
just
kind
better
of
options in blue,
because I
right?
mean the red purple it morphed into like an aggro build, right? Like as much as we want to say that these decks they all kind of they becoming their new identities, right? We're seeing these
Yeah.
control lists pop up that are not control lists of the old, and we're seeing new mid-range lists, and we're seeing new aggro lists. Like, why not? Why wouldn't Sapphire Ruby just be another mid-range deck that could come in and compete with
But
all of its
also
crazy removal?
play Ralph and coils and stuff. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Mhm.
I mean, Sapphire Coil, man, it feels so weird. It's just such a tough card to play at any point in a deck because you're like, where do I play this?
Yeah.
Like as much as I
Mhm.
want it to be on the board, I think back to Ice Block and I'm like, man, Ice Block was so awesome. Like
Yeah.
playing that for one and just having it on the
Yep.
board was so great. But with Sapphire Coil, man, it's just so hard to figure out where to play it. So awesome.
Turns
No,
out two drop slot and Sapphire is really important.
Yep.
yeah.
Turns out.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Like I think back to like all these different two drops there, and I was actually kind of like theorizing through this. And it's like in your blue list, it's always just been filled by Tipo or Sale. And
Mhm.
so every other two drop is
Always.
just kind of redheaded stepchild. Like you just put it to the side and you just expect that it's never going to be used or you're going to play it at 6, 7 ink or whatever, right? Like it's just so weird that the two drop slot kind of died. And I mean, as much as I hate the idea of banning stuff, people were talking about like banning Tipo and stuff like that. Like I don't think you
You
should.
should just let them rotate. That's okay.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be
Yeah.
banned, but I think Tipo rotating is actually kind of healthy for the game out of like the necessity of opening up that two drop slot for blue and saying like,
This
hey,
this
you can
next
play something
rotation
else
is going to
there.
be really interesting, right? Because we
Yeah.
lose so many heavy hitters. We lose Genie, Elsa. We lose all the tramp cards. We lose, like you said, we lose Tipo Sale. It's going to
Yeah.
be a crazy
Hmm.
format.
No, I'm excited to see how that rotation comes in. I hope it's handled a little better
And
with
Fabled.
than
Same.
Fabled. I mean, Fabled was, man, I think we can all, now that we're a couple months removed, I think we could all agree that that was probably the worst meta that we've ever
It
experienced.
was really, really bad.
It was not a lot of fun. So, but yeah, I think we'll get through a couple of different things, and hopefully we can have ourselves a fun meta when we get to the rotation. But we still have what or three more quarters left
Yep.
before we get to that
Right.
It'll be a
We have
rotation
a
while,
while
phase.
guys.
before that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so
But
got some
only
time.
like 3 DLCs.
Yeah, Ghent is so remind me, Ghent is on the 7th, correct? So next weekend.
No,
No.
not next weekend, but on the 7th. So 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, not next weekend, the weekend after. Sorry,
Yep.
my bad. Yeah.
Yep.
So the weekend after next.
We play on the 6th.
You guys play on the 6th and the 8th,
All
right? We're playing on the 8th
That's
right.
too,
right.
right?
That
That's what
is
we're talking
correct.
about.
Thank you,
6th and
Justin.
the 8th. You guys are
Yep.
playing on both of those days.
There will be Tiggers in the top. Don't
Yes, there
you
will
fret.
be. No
Ooh,
question.
I want to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. So that's cool. I think Ghent is going to be such a freaking crazy event. I'm so excited for you guys to go there and get after it. Hopefully you learned what you needed to learn yesterday. I think that's the key for
Hmm.
that 1K. That spot was a really good spot for them to have that 1K. So
Yeah.
cool stuff.
It was like the perfect event for us.
It's cool. Awesome. Well, I mean, I got
Okay,
nothing else
moving.
on the docket. Do we have
Yeah.
anything else that we wanted to chat or shout out before we bounced?
No, I think we're okay. I was just trying to look at the next DLCs coming up that are international, but not a whole ton are planned out there. There are some
Yeah.
though.
I think the only one left is Indy in June. I think there might be one in South America.
Brazil.
Yeah, I think Brazil might be coming
I
up.
think it is Brazil. And I was like thinking about going, but then I don't want to.
Yeah.
Too expensive.
Holy cow. So side note, almost every judge from DLC Richmond, or like half of the judges from DLC Richmond were from Brazil.
I
Like
noticed
Brazil
that.
is a
Yeah.
Oh
huge
wow.
Lorcana
So
community, like massive community down there.
cool.
So shout outs to Brazil,
I
man.
bet
They're
the Brazil event will go really crazy.
yeah.
I
If
just
it
I chose
Mhm.
my
I think
international
so.
event already, and I have
yeah.
to go to Ghent.
Yeah, I
So
could not. I mean, international events are really tough, I think, for most people in general, right? Like,
yeah, I need to make more money for that.
well, you just need to set up an LLC, right? And
Oh, there you go.
then, the Tiggers becomes an
Write that
organization.
right
Just
off.
write it off in your
Hmm.
taxes, right? You'll
Hmm.
be good to go.
Yep. Tiggers is a business.
There you go. I like it.
We're gonna get sued instantly.
Immediately
The
sued for
Tiggers LLC.
immediately sued for being awesome. No.
Yeah.
Now the camera
Yeah.
will come down.
Cease and desist comes down
Yeah.
immediately.
Change your name.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, all right, guys. I think that's
Yeah.
it for this week.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm done for the week if you guys are.
Yeah. Great. We're
All
gonna
right.
have next week will be all of our Ghent predictions, and then
Yep.
I'll be off, and you guys all have to do this without me for Wow.
Yeah, Kevin and I will have to figure
Awesome.
out everything that's going on in Ghent because I don't even know how that time zone's going to work out. We'll have to send you some messages at really
Yeah,
weird
I have no
times.
idea. And then I got to figure out my service too, because if I don't even know if I can use my phone that much
Yeah,
often.
probably not. Usually it
Rack
works,
up
but
those
you don't want
charges.
to, man. Like
No,
when I
it'll
went to
work, but it'll
Afghanistan,
cost you money.
dude, I went to Afghanistan and they like with our phones, we turn them on and they were like, "Hey, it works," and then got back it was like a $6,000 bill.
Yeah, there's
So it's
no
What?
way.
craziness. Yeah, it's craziness.
I'm gonna be on Wi-Fi only. That's the only way I'm
Yeah.
using the internet. Yeah.
Yep, that's the way to
Mhm.
do it. All right, guys. Well, have a great week. It was a pleasure
Yeah,
chatting with you. See you later.
absolutely.
Good to see you
Adios.
guys. Bye.